Well, I got some new toys in, and hopefully there'll be some fun toys. We'll find out. They are used, but I got my hands on some DACs that I believe are upside down. I believe are going to be compatible with the X520 network cards. I believe these are 7 meters long, and they should give me 10 gigabit connectivity for my servers. Although I'm a little concerned about these cables being a little thicker than I thought they would be. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm waiting for the server to settle down and then I'm going to install them. Well, I've done some testing using my bottom server. I popped in one of the X520 and i350 combo cards that I have, and I was able to get the 10 gig to work. I am going to need to do some configuration on my Juniper switch. Oops. I'm not sure why the last port wasn't working, but I'm guessing the last two ports are still in virtual chassis mode or whatever. So I gotta tinker with that. I also gotta figure out cable routing. It's not gonna work to have the cable here because if I want to route it through there, it's not gonna work, and I don't want to route it under. So I think I'm gonna run the cable up and over everything and kind of cable tie it to the holes, because there's really nothing that's ever going to go up here. This is basically unusable space. If I do add anything there, I might make a 3U cover plate that would have like some 120 millimeter fans, like 3 of them in a row, just kind of force air out the back. But yeah, so I have a naughty butt doing something. What are you two doing? What's that look for? I have 3 more of these cables, and I'm currently working on backing up my file system, or file server I mean, to the cold storage. I believe everything should be backed up to the primary backup, which is running in this server. Once backup is done, I'm going to take both of those down, which is going to be weird because these have been up for several months, and I'm going to pull them. I'm going to put in the X520 cards in each one, and then I'm going to pull out 2 of the network cables and then add the copper DACs that will give me 10 gig connectivity for these 2 servers. How I'm going to test to see if it works, I don't know quite for sure yet. I am pretty excited about it. Something I might end up doing, I was going to potentially rack mount my PC in here and then run cables to the office, but I might actually get a better video card for VM for this box, and then run my PC in that server. But that's a project for a different video. I'm not quite sure what's happening there yet. But yeah, decisions. And you can tell which of the drives are my primary storage. Blinking away. Saturating that gigabit connection like it's nothing. I'm going to have to figure out a way to test going between the 2 boxes. The problem is I don't know if those 3.5-inch hard drives can handle 10 gigabit worth of traffic, so that'll be interesting. But if all goes well, following this clip should be a time lapse of me doing work on my server rack, assuming I can refrain from mooning the camera. Yeah, if there's no time lapse, it means I mooned the camera and got mad and didn't feel like changing anything. So we'll see what happens. Well, that wasn't too bad. First ones took me about 18 minutes is what the video recording says, so I'm gonna go with that. I have them run, at least from the server to my cable management arm. Oh boy, I'm definitely not a big fan of cable management. If it weren't for these and the fact that I wouldn't be able to pull my servers in and out, it would have been a lot easier to replace the cables. But yeah, so this one's done up for the most part. I got a cable up on top right now. I got to finish running it from down there to the switch ports. I think I'm going to run it along the side here, and then I don't know. I think these little slots here are actually probably meant for cables to go through. So I might feed them through there and then work my way around to the front. I'm going to have to leave a bit of a coil hanging along the side panel because I overestimated how much cable I needed, but that's whatever. So yeah, once I get that one done, I'll work on the second one down. It's probably overkill having this one with 10 gig, but I don't know. I guess it'll be nice for the future. I could do some upgrades to that bottom one and use it for other stuff as well, but right now the bottom one's just a glorified file server. In theory, it's going to run some other network intensive tasks down the road. But yep, I need to take a break though and eat me some dinner, and then I will be back at it, hopefully. Well, mostly done now. I'm a little concerned about how I did these because the servers feel like they're hesitating a bit to go in or out, so I'm not sure what's going on there. I did run the cable up the side right next to this power cord, which I'm sure is fantastic for the data integrity. And yeah, I really overestimated how much cable I needed, so whoops. I got enough to go outside of the rack and around it practically. But I kind of figured out the best way I could route it. I mean, it's not great. But yeah, Onyx is being naughty. He's looking to cause trouble. Onyx, hey, leave that alone. He's trying to chew on stuff and steal stuff. But yeah, so this is about the best I can do with what I got, because even when I close it, it's going to be pushing on the cables a little. But yeah, the next step is going to be to configure the switch. I believe the last two ports are configured for virtual chassis ports. So they're looking to be basically stack ports to another switch. So they'll connect, but I have no internet connectivity. So that's a simple command I have to do in console to fix that. And then the fun part will be fixing the networks and the VMs, which, oh boy. Hopefully it won't be too bad. We'll find out. Well, that ended up being a little trickier than I was expecting. I had to resort to ChatGPT because the webpage I had saved on the Juniper forums disappeared, so I couldn't figure out how to disable the virtual chassis ports that were causing me grief. Luckily, for the most part, as far as I could tell, all the VMs kind of just resolved themselves. There were a few I had to go into and basically change the network adapter settings so it would use a 10 gigabit connection instead of gigabit. And I've just remoted into one of my VMs using Parsec here. And I've already copied the file that I want to move over to this machine. So I'm just going to do a little Control V. And yeah, look at those speeds. They're a little sad. So one thing I'm realizing now is my SSDs aren't fast enough to saturate 10 gig. So yeah, first world problems. But hey, 4 gigabit a second now basically is what I'm getting. And I don't know, there might be some overhead issues too with the fact that I'm copying this from one virtual machine to the other. But on smaller files with the burst speeds that I think the RAID controller or the SSDs are capable of, I was easily getting full 10 gigabit for a couple seconds. But there's some bottleneck somewhere, and I don't know what it is since I'm not very skilled at troubleshooting it. I did ask ChatGPT for some suggestions, and they wanted me to do a bunch of Linux stuff that I didn't understand, so I didn't do it. It was really basic stuff. Like, it wasn't that it was too hard for me to do. It's just I didn't want to take the time to understand it since I didn't know what it was doing, other than like some speed test stuff and whatever. I did end up giving my TrueNAS boxes some more horsepower, because previously they had 4 cores and 16 gigs of RAM assigned to them. So I upped it to 8 cores and 32 gig just in case. It didn't make any obvious difference though. They were still not able to saturate that 10 gig connection for longer than a couple seconds. But yeah, that's it's kind of bonkers. Really, the only way I would get any better with at least these machines would be if I put some PCI Express to NVMe adapters in there and then popped it full of NVMe drives. But I mean, realistically, I've been just fine with gigabit. I had the cards, you know. I had these, and I had the horrible X520 ones I put back in there that I stole from other machines, and I wanted to do it. So it will be good for backups since this server backs up to that server. This server literally is just a glorified TrueNAS box. It's not doing anything else. Although it is cheaper for me to get big drives for this. I am thinking about potentially getting some 6 terabyte drives for that to replace with the 3 terabyte drives with. But yeah, we'll see. I'm I don't really know what to say about myself. I'm I just don't know what to say. I'm kind of a data hoarder, but like between everything that's on this box and like my laptop and my home PC and my office PC, I think I'm up to like 5 terabytes of files. And for some reason, I want 30 terabytes of storage. So, although the problem I will have is, so I have, I think, 13 terabytes of SSD in that machine. So if I go up to 30 terabytes in this one, I'm going to have a bunch of excess storage, which probably will just get provisioned over security cameras and stuff. But yeah, I am a little worried about running out of space here because my 5 terabyte array that I've built is, I think, up to 3 terabytes now. So what I'm probably going to end up doing is I can't really expand the array because I'm running TrueNAS Core, and from what I understand, it doesn't really support that. So what I'm probably going to do is build like a 2 or 3 terabyte array and then move all my YouTube stuff to that. I'll probably take whatever, or figure out however much space I'm using for YouTube videos and then just triple that and then hope that that's enough. But yeah, I don't know. That's kind of neither here nor there. Now that I got 10 gig working, I really want to push and see if I can virtualize my desktop onto this machine, but that is going to mean I'm probably going to want a better video card. I forget what's in there right now for my supposed gaming machine. I think it's a GTX 645 or a Quadro K2000. I think basically either way it's the same thing. 2 gig card, triple monitor support, I believe, but I don't know what I'm gonna do. I want something with display outputs, and I don't want to pay for Quadros. After my 1070 blew up in there, you know, I still don't know what to say about that. I get the arguments from one side, but I still think it's just a poorly made card. So I want to find something that'll play nice in a server. I do another Tesla, but I do actually need graphics outputs if I'm going to virtualize my personal PC, because then I'm going to run either DisplayPort over Ethernet adapters or something, so I can direct attach my monitors to the server. Although I'm honestly considering the alternative of just rack mounting a PC, because another issue I'm going to run into is, so like if I want to plug video cables into this card right now, actually that probably is a Quadro K2000 based on the faceplate. I also would need USB, so I'd put a USB 3.0 card in here, get 2 USB 3 ports, and it's just going to be kind of hard to make this work in the cable management arm. So odds are I'm probably going to rack another server in here, but I don't even know where, because I am kind of running out of space. One thing I'm considering doing is I want to take this, what U is that even? Let's see if I can, yeah, 4U. I want to take this 4U case out and replace it with a 2U. So this is my cold storage, as I've pointed out in other videos, but I kind of want something different. This has been okay, but I'm too lazy to flash the PERC H310 controller over to IT mode. So when drive failures happen, it's kind of annoying. This is truly my cold storage now. I only turn it on when I need to do incremental backups, I guess you'd say. So the drive failures and the H310 RAID controller issues aren't too big of a deal. That being said, it would be nice to have something that had iDRAC and fit on rails, because this isn't rail mounted right now. I don't know what I'll use for a machine. I could go 11th gen and go with one of the 12-bay R510s I have, and then just plop that full of 1 terabyte drives, and then set that up with lots of redundancy and cold spares. I could go with an R520, but the problem I have with the R520s is I don't know if I have any more left with iDRAC. I'd have to look. So I don't know what's going to go with that. Also, I guess if I go with an R520, I still have the same problem I have with this box, which is I need to cross flash the RAID controller to IT mode. And at that point, I'd probably just go with the R510, because I wouldn't mind having more drive base, because then I could do my 8 drives for the storage, and then another 4 drives for cold or hot spares or whatever. I guess it'd be a hot spare. I don't know. If it's not on half the time, I don't know what it is, but yeah. So that's kind of up for debate. If I can come up with something nice for a rack mount gaming PC to replace my office PC with, I might do that. I really want it on rails, though. I don't like this one because it's not on rails. It's sitting on a I don't know what you call them. They're not really rails, but I'm using the same thing that my battery backups are sitting on. I'm using a set of APC rails, basically. It's just they don't have nice, I can't pull that out in one hand. they'll have nice roller slides like this. So yeah, I don't know, probably silly. I gotta do some testing though and figure out how viable it is to try to do a port extension over Ethernet. So yeah, hopefully that's interesting, and boy, I'm so happy about having 10 gig. It's so much fun. Even if I'm only gonna get 4 gigabit because my drives are too slow, that's gonna make certain tasks just so much faster, especially when I'm building throwaway virtual machines. I just now I get fancy and get even more stuff on 10 gig. I could do this one as 10 gig, but that's just a test box. But I only have 4 ports, unless I put in one of the 10 gig switches I have that are multi-port SFP+. So either way, hopefully that was interesting, and thanks for watching.